Hey everybody, what is going on? Bright suns to everybody out there today. Thank you so much for watching. So in this video, I'm going to talk to you about the Docking Bay food menu name changes, okay? A lot of talk on Twitter about this. I really want to dive right in and give you my thoughts on this. Before I do that though, I do want to bring to your attention a video that I thought is very, very cool. Jacob's Quest, he's a Star Wars YouTuber, did a video recently about, there's certain segments of the Star Wars fandom that is calling for a boycott of Rise of Skywalker. They're not happy with Kathleen Kennedy. They're not happy with how, the direction of Disney Star Wars. So they're calling for a boycott. They want to send Disney a message, right? And Jacob kind of breaks down how realistic is this? Can these groups make an impact on the overall box office? And it's an awesome video. Link above. Check it out. You are really going to be surprised at just how much it takes to even put a little dent in these box office numbers. So check it out when you get a chance. It really is an awesome video. So to get to the topic at hand, I really wanted to talk to you guys about these food name changes. There's been a lot of discussion online about these. Now, for those of you that don't know, in Batuu, when you go into the restaurants like Docking Bay 7, the names are all, Star Wars themed. So you'll get like the Andorian Yip Tip and Kadu smoked ribs. Everything is like in universe and themed to Star Wars, okay? Now, they've always had like the English earthly description underneath that'll tell you that it's pot roast or it's chicken or whatever, right? But that was always really kind of like underneath and kind of minimized. But the Star Wars name was really the main focus. Well, that's going to change in Florida. They're switching those out. So it's going to be the more earthly description that's going to have the main title, so to speak, the one that really comes out, the bigger font. And in smaller font, they're going to give you the Star Wars name. Now, here's how I feel about this. I'm a huge Star Wars nerd. I love this franchise. If you follow me on Twitter, I tweet about Star Wars nonstop. I love this franchise. So I want the Star Wars names to stay. Obviously, that's what I would prefer. But I understand why Disney is doing what they're doing, even though I might not really like the decision. Okay, you have people that are walking up to this menu and seeing things like Andorian Yip Tip and Kadu smoked ribs. Nobody knows what that is. If you're not, if you're not a Star Wars fan, or even if you really are a Star Wars fan, you might not know what that is. And something that you're eating, you're going to want to know what kind of meat it is, right? I mean, most people do want to know what they're eating. So I can see why Disney needed to clarify this. Okay, number one, because there was probably a lot of questions. People, when they walked up, to the cashier, they were probably asking them a lot of questions, and it was holding the line back. Okay, there's a lot of confusion. Look, I know everyone's going to comment in the comment section and tell me, well, I wasn't confused. I knew it was chicken. It's clear, the description. I understand that. And I wasn't confused either. But you have to understand that there are people that will get confused about that. And there obviously was a huge segment of the population that was confused. Disney doesn't spend the money to alter the menu and all that just because one or two people were confused. Okay? Obviously, a big chunk of the guests at Walt Disney World were confused by this menu. Otherwise, Disney wouldn't have addressed it. Okay? It's a problem. Or it assumingly was a problem for them to even address it. So you have to understand it from Disney's perspective. You can't have people standing in line, confused at the menu. They don't even know what it is until they get right up to the cashier's desk because the description is really tiny. So it backs things up. It creates a lot of confusion. I can understand why Disney did what they did. Now, that doesn't mean I like the decision. I'm a Star Wars geek. I love Star Wars. I wish everything was Star Wars themed and in Arabic and just totally nerd out with the Star Wars stuff. I wish it was like that. But see, with theme parks, you have to balance the logistics with the theming. And, it's kind of like Frontierland or Main Street, for example. You go to Main Street and you can buy, Frozen merchandise. That movie came out in 2013. What's it doing on a Main Street theme to, turn of the century America, right? Right? Why do they have credit card readers in Frontierland or Main Street? Why do they have these things? It goes against the theme. Why? Because you need to have a working theme park. It has to be realistic. Yes, theme is important. It's very important. Details are very, very important. But there comes a point where you have to put the operational needs and the logistics before the theme. And I think that's what's happening here with Galaxy's Edge. I think they were just getting a lot of confusion, a lot of complaints, a lot of issues, and they're addressing it. And this is the way they're addressing it. It's unfortunate, because the people that weren't confused, like myself and probably most of you, but at the end of the day, there were a lot of people that were confused. What can we do, Look, the general public, it's hard with the general public. I mean, you ever been to like Target and you go to like the self-checkout lane and there's people that have a very difficult time scanning and paying. To me, it seems very simple. To you, it seems very simple, but there are people that are very confused by that. This is the same kind of thing, right? It seems very easy to understand that the Star Wars name and the actual description underneath, it's easy, it's simple, yes, to you and I, but a lot of people, it was confusing, so they had to change it. It was a necessary evil. Now, I do want to emphasize, this is only in Florida. They have not done this to California yet. So I don't know, maybe most of the bulk of the complaints were over there on the East Coast. We'll see if Disneyland has the same changes, but it's all very, very, very interesting. But what are your thoughts on the name changes at the Docking Bay 7? Do you not like the idea? Do you like the idea? Do you at least understand why Disney's doing it? What are your thoughts on this? I would love to hear from you guys. Thank you all so, so much for watching. And as always, may the Force be with you.